Well, at exactly 20 after 8, we get anything that listeners want to ask presenters. So, because we're celebrating this day, we decided to massive Lemon Radio and allow anyone who wants to ask anything to ask us whatever that they want to ask us. Don't ask us if we're dating or not. Ask anything radio related.
Yeah, please, radio related.
When you open questions on the floor for questions that I want to no. No, ask me to turn the AB radio that I can answer,
Yeah.
So if you've got a question, you want to ask us anything, you want to ask Tara anything, you want to ask me, Usnaz, 072 999 or you can call us on 086 2375. It is TruFM together with Nkubela FM this morning. Well, it's True Breakfast meeting up with Pure Gold Breakfast. Usnaz calls it True Gold Breakfast this morning. 21 minutes after 8. I want to find out Tara radio Kalanin.
Wow. In 2016.
2016.
Yeah. Been doing this since 2016. Ogogo gendi busy. Yeah, since le writing. Kodwa ke uthando lwayo kudala labakhona obviously before uyabona kodwa ke 2016 kwakungona ke didibana nomboko.
Uyazi doubles about radio or
zazi yenye la maphupha that seemed far-fetched.
Sure.
Yabona izanto khona. Ndiyayithanda le way, but it doesn't seem reachable. But up until my teachers, whenever I was doing a presentation, they say, man. Man, wena, man.
If I'm sorry,
you call that late. And I thought, man, let me try and go and dance away. And it turned out to be something I really enjoy.
Do you really enjoy it?
I enjoy it. Because I mean, when you don't vuka kusasa qho, akukhela uvuka. That's one thing we need to be honest about. Vuka. Every morning.
Yeah.
Yep.
There are those mornings where I'm like, I can't need your pangel. But then I remember I have to.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. So it can't not be love.
Sure.
Vuka every day. It's gotta be love.
Yeah. Well, we're not asking Tara only, we're asking everyone on the show. Any other question you want to ask them, send them through on 072 999 or you can call us on 086 2375. One thing I've always wanted to know, Leo, was it always sport when it comes to radio?
Yep. Yeah.
Nothing else?
I did a talk show in varsity.
Okay.
Current affairs.
That's when you were starting up.
Yeah, starting up. But I came in as a sports presenter, and then most varsity you can
I see you on current affairs though. And he said, she said, hey man, only a big current affairs over. And I said, I see him actually on current affairs. This was Nico speaking about you. But we were like, I see you on current affairs.
But sport is current affairs.
It is.
It's very serious. It's people, die in this thing doing it. Sport, so you have to carry it as such.
Don't take it that far.
I can tell you stories. People die on the field, die in the ring. You put your life on the line to do this thing, so you need to carry it as such. It's a real thing. Like I can't wing it. I can't.
One of the things Tara Abasasas don't like asking before Snaz or before I ask Snaz a question about your tour guide. People incorporate. Bayabuza into from njengoba ukuphangela le banki ngephi ibhanki ofuna uyiphangela ungayibiza kakuthi no la banki igreen okanye la banki iblue on radio xa sisitsho uba sifuna uphangela phi radio sejongwa fine. And I'm saying this because my managers are both here. Ufike besijonge fine into he ubiza izitishers eboyeni wami and I'm like isn't it great or to dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But is there a point, without mentioning a radio station, but is there a point where you look at what you do and you look at your life and you say, I would love to land on a certain platform?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. A community radio station can only reach so far.
Sure.
We are born. So you'd wanna reach a bigger platform, a bigger audience, whereby ngokuzawuthatha le talent yakho nayo uyikhulise and I mean gain more experience, because thina sasazele Nelson Mandela, and now see Dylan Nelson Mandela. Now kanti xa usiva stories coming from people from Ebizana and Mthatha and all other places, then it gives you another perspective. You're oh, kanti abanye abantu baphila ngendlela ethile, uyabona, kanti kukho abantu abaphila ngolu hlobo, uyabona, kwezinye indawo. So
one of the things I find, no one asked me this, but one of the things I find interesting on radio, and especially about us being a regional station, well, regional but national, whatever, is that when we open up our transmitters to the rest of the Eastern Cape, because it's close, that's going one, then go figures in languages. Kuta habaya tuke moyen, no, about tuke moyen. You know, I remember there's a listener. And forgive me, this is World Radio Day. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But there's a listener who called in and said Impundu, but mentioned it. And you know, and then got to know we had talk. It's like no, I talk. That's how they say it.
Yeah. I mean? Even that's why we try and do again article show in Thursdays. We have a Xhosa expert. Dr. Lukanyiso Makenyan. We try and teach people. Like umzekelo igama eli lokchat.
Sure.
Yabona is Xhosa, the Xhosa word ukuzeka. Yabona. And now it makes people cringe. Abantu balabebhayi umzekelo, it makes us cringe xa kubizwa la gama. Kanti all along manel gama originally ligama elithetha lelo.
Masengo men yangeyikisa igama ubizayo. Also today, as a country, we mourn the passing and the deaths of our fallen soldiers as they were out in DRC, of course, in a peacekeeping mission. We salute them as they returned back in their boxes, or rather in their caskets this afternoon, back to our country, back to South Africa. We thank them for the work that they do for our country and the work of guarding the importance of peace in our world. So today, as they return back to our country, back to their land, we of course salute them and pay our respects to our fallen soldiers of the South African National Defence Force. It's 20 minutes to go before 9. We want to get into birthday celebrations this morning and see celebrate abantu abazalwayo namhlanje nabantu ke esibathandayo abazalwayo namhlanje. Abantu ke thera bayazithanda i-birthdays. Bafana nam. I don't understand why. Zinto zami birthdays. Ifana nomuntu ongatshoyo happy birthday kum. Astetsan.
It's a personal.
Very personal. No, you can't.
One thing I've learned in Doba, ubuye kulinda abantu. Yalinda kujonga.
Bakhona abantu bafuna bathi happy birthday. Abanye it's okay. But imagine really you're not saying happy birthday. Hayibo.
Jan.
Sitla lapha 3 hours. Happy birthday.
Ngasuvalela mic
We pay bills. When we come back, we get straight into birthdays this morning. I tell people all the time, if Lendo Teta your iPhone yaziwe, so ngixelele, because sasa ngomso like balse rated ndawo. Ufika nje the city guys bedihleli no terrorism. After Choga basangixela nangoku I'm like sundixelela ngizayithetha mna ngoku ndingafika ndibazi ba emva kweshow izolo kuTerry one basi bapha inkqubela
asibalisela ngento zasenkqubela uTerry.
So I've never had this fuba. I've just never had it. All right, I think we're running out of time. Listen, it's been great, man, having Nkqubela FM and Pure Gold Breakfast on our studios this morning, well, as a simulcast and celebrating World Radio Day. It feels so much fun and so good to have another breakfast show come to another breakfast show, and I'm hoping you enjoyed yourself and it's fun.
Yeah, too much.
We must do it again. And do it again and do it longer.
Power your organizers
and do it longer.
Plug. Shout out to Umsala Wamanu Yonela Kiti.
Oh yes.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know
that
familiar basasa.
We can always make radio friendly.
You know what I mean? Hey man.
Alright, this is our saying goodbyes up until next time. Thank you so much, and of course this is how we celebrate World Radio Day Namhlanje as a true breakfast meets up with Pure Gold Breakfast. TruFM meets up with Nkqubela FM from Utara, of course.
Yeah, I always say all of me loves all of you.
This is True Breakfast.
Liolum Kalipi.
I'm Poison Ponce, I love you. Mwah.
Bye-bye, Yine Kabech.
All right, 13 minutes exactly after 10, and we're about to get into an interview with Dr. Quantro Mgogo, who's a senior lecturer in media studies at Rhodes University. But I think most importantly today, we want to find out on some of the media studies at the University of Rhodes, or Rhodes University, as an institution that is internationally recognized as one of the best media education institutions in Africa as well as the world. Rhodes University has produced some of the finest radio personalities, the likes of Unatim Sengana amongst those people. And today we would just want to learn all about their School of Media and Journalism, and also the kind of courses that they have to offer to students that are looking to venture into the radio world or radio as a career. And of course, in a little bit, at about 22, we'll also be opening our lines for any questions that you might have for Dr. Quantro regarding radio related questions. And of course, he's in studio sitting in with us live this morning. Dr. Quantro, a very warm welcome to you, or should I say Dr. Mgogo, a very warm welcome to you, and thank you so much for joining us, and happy World Radio Day to you. How are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling very well. Thank you, babes, for having me. Delighted to be here.
It's an absolute pleasure. And you know what makes today even a finer day? We get to speak about something that you and I are both passionate about. Definitely. And also, in my intro, I did mention that Rhodes University as an institutional is internationally recognized, and not only that, but also one of the best media education institutions in Africa. Maybe first, in opening our conversation, let's find out what makes the School of Media and Journalism at Rhodes University one of the best in Africa.
Let me start here. Rhodes University, in terms of the research, it is heavily linked to the community. And in fact, Rhodes as an institution, it prides itself with the community engagement. So our school is no different. So it always makes sure that whatever research is done, even teaching and learning, it is linked to the community. As a result, it is also heavily linked with the media associations in the community. You know, you would remember Highway Africa, which is a global phenomenon. So it used to attract, journalists all over the world. And recently we have done like a number of seminars, and that are related to media as a whole. There's just a lot that is done, but basically it's all about community. So if you're heavily linked with the community, then you become the best.
All right. Now, another hard argument for a lot of people who are generally interested in venturing into radio and seeing people that are on radio, sometimes it seems like a seamless procedure to be on radio for a lot of people. I want you to maybe just elaborate to me, as well as our listeners this morning, how does talent as well as education sort of go hand in hand together when it comes to performing in the radio industry?
Yeah, well, honestly, there is a great debate, that is happening around the world about, whether talent alone, is enough, or you would need to enhance it with education and stuff. So maybe a typical example, maybe just a bit outside radio, in film production. I'm not sure if you know Steven Spielberg.
Yes.
So he's a great film producer.
Sure.
He was rejected by a number of United States film schools.
Okay.
As a result, he thought, okay, let me just do my own thing aside and stuff. Now he's one of the greatest film producers as well. So in entertainment, talent, means a lot. You have to be very talented. So between the two subjects, they have a symbiotic relationship, education and talent. So with talent, we always think of it as an aptitudinal skill, that you are born with, and in closer culture we believe this PO or something was the renayo and umdana ufumbete isiphiwo xa isazalwa yonke laa nto. So it's something that you have great abilities, to do, but naturally.
Yeah.
Right. So you can have a very good voice. Right, well, it might be subjective to say someone has a nice voice, but there is probably a dominant notion on so and so you have a very nice voice, Baba.
Oh, thank you.
So that is your talent. That is your
Sure.
greatest talent. But where does education fit into it? Education comes in as an enhancement tool, right? As a developmental tool. Because talent alone, right, it won't maybe take you to such an extent, but you would need some sort of education to learn different types of skills, like your technical skills.
Yeah.
You would need to operate this machinery. You are not born knowing how to operate this equipment in front of us. And and also the producing part of it and so on and so on. But you would need to have an education in terms of acquiring such kind of skills, soft skills like communication skills. I think you have a great interpersonal skills as well. So educationally, you also get taught some of those skills, technical skills, communication skills, intercultural skills. The list goes on. Digital communication skills to enhance, the talent that you already have. So the two have a very good relationship with each other. But with radio, we rely mostly on the talent. So you need to have talent.
Now, I was chatting to Grant Nash just before you came in, and we spoke about something that seems to be also very controversial. Well, that used to be controversial back in my time, when obviously I was deciding on my choice of tertiary institution or university that I would then explore my journalism diploma. I was caught in a battle of whether do I go to a university or a tertiary institution, and the word out then was that in universities it is offered a more of a theoretical than the practical manner. And you've just mentioned now in our conversation that it's more practical because obviously it's got different components to make it what it is. And also with that said, I just want to ask on your end, for someone who is interested in venturing into the radio industry on and off air, that is, what kind of courses maybe Rhodes University has to offer for those people?
Okay. We don't specifically offer a program that it's just only solely about radio, so you have to do a combination of courses, right? So for instance, at Rhodes, we have divided the program into two. There is Bachelor of Arts in Journalism, and then there is Bachelor of Journalism. So the other one is a little bit shorter, like 3 years, and the other one you complete it in 4 years. Okay. So you recently just spoke about, focusing more on theoretical, and the other one being, like the Bachelor of Arts, it gives you more practical than the Bachelor of Journalism. A Bachelor of Journalism is, more of a theoretical, sort of a way in terms of teaching our students. But there is practical because we also have RMR, right? So we use that radio station, right? So to send our students there to also learn the practical part of radio and audio and podcast and so on and so on. We also have grow codes, for instance, for those that are interested in writing and so on. So we offer courses like writing and editing, design, television, photojournalism, digital media, and radio as well. So students have to choose their specialization. They have to do all these, but then at the end they will have to choose their specialization, especially at third year level. So if you are interested in radio, then you specialize in audio, because radio deals with audio more than anything. If you like TV, then you will go via TV.
So it will be more about your passion more than anything.
More than anything. And then, but you must be talented. You can't just, if you are interested in, sitting in front of the mics and stuff, so you would need to have the voice. But if you're interested to be behind the scenes and stuff, then you might not really need that much of a talent. You just need to learn the skills, right, of producing and then also dealing with all the kinds of equipment that we teach our students to operate.
All right, now that you've told us about the offers and also the different varieties that one can choose from, let's talk about the minimum requirements for one to be able to enroll at the Rhodes School for Journalism particularly.
Yeah, well, because we offer the program as a package,
So we would normally just split the requirements per specialization. Like for instance, if you want to do radio, these are the minimum courses. So we do the minimum requirements holistically for the
Okay.
whole program. So, and because journalism or media studies does not have a prerequisite in high school, like if you want to do medicine, you must have, done, life sciences in high school. If you want to do agriculture, you must have done, agricultural studies. So journalism, it's doesn't have a prerequisite. So you can either come from, any kind of a stream from high school. But then we normally look at your languages. Right, so we want you to have not less than 65%,
Sure.
of passing English, and then of course you will have to have passed with a bachelor's, so you have to have good marks and stuff. But then we do look at your languages, and then recently, because we also take note of the significance of indigenous languages, and we know they are underrepresented, especially in the media industry. So we have made collaborations with the isiXhosa department.
Okay.
So we want our students to also, we call that a course, isiXhosa for journalism.
Nice.
So we want our students to, those that are interested in their, isiXhosa indigenous languages, maybe we will do more languages, but because we're in Eastern Cape, and Eastern Cape is a Xhosa land, so we want our students to learn to, write, read, speak in isiXhosa, and practice journalism in isiXhosa. Those that want to write, they can write perfectly in isiXhosa, because you can speak isiXhosa, but it doesn't mean you know it.
Sure,
Right,
sure.
yes. And even those that
True,
are interested
I've
in
learned
radio,
that.
yeah, those that are interested in radio as well, so they will learn isiXhosa as well, and they can learn to maybe read news in isiXhosa, they can present in isiXhosa, and so on and so on, and even create the content that is in isiXhosa.
I want to challenge you. I am trying to read your character. You seem like someone who's generally calm-spirited. And it has been said that in journalism, you do require people that have quite a bold character, and many other adjectives that will probably describe a person who really has guts, if I can put it like that. Because, and I just want to find out on your end, is there much truth in terms of character being linked to a career, specifically in radio? Because I've always been told I'm someone that is very chatty, someone that is undweb, I don't know how to say it in English, but very inquisitive, I can
Right.
put it that. And that is one of the things that I think I took with me to radio, because that's what sparks the conversation. That's what leads you to asking questions to the people that you'll be interviewing or chatting to. So does it, in your experience and being a senior lecturer, does it really have anything? I mean, can you have someone who's mime and still have a career in journalism?
I think so, definitely. I don't think that entirely, reflects, how a career should be. And I think it's a perception that we have generalized from maybe understanding a particular career that, if you are a teacher, you have to be like this.
Yeah. Sure.
And then we end up, having stereotypes for those careers, that nurses are like this, teachers are like this.
Okay.
And then if you are in radio, film, in entertainment and stuff, you have to be, very much active, energetic person, inquisitive.
Sure.
You have to have a nice voice and stuff. Maybe not entirely, because you could be behind the scenes. You don't need to say anything.
Sure.
You just operate. You could be digital person. You don't need to say anything. Or you could have a program that does not, require, so much of, energy and stuff. Reading in Nipanga, for instance, I don't think,
Yeah.
you would need to be,
I
a
hear you.
very kind of loud of a person, but you would probably just need to be a very calm person, because we are presenting a program, that is, sort of, apologetic to
Sure.
the people and stuff. So I think it depends, but entirely we have associated, radio presenting with, energy levels, because this mic is heavy and there are millions and millions of people that are listening to you. So if you are dragging in energy, then you are dragging everyone with it. So
and best believe they can pick it up on your off days. Hey, someone will come through and say, "Hey, babes, today I'm not feeling you." So
exactly.
it works exactly.
I do
just
listen
like
to you sometimes, and then you're always energetic. So
thank you. Thank you so much. Dr. Quantro live in studio with us this morning. Quantro Mgogo, that is, he's a senior lecturer in media studies at the Rhodes University. We did mention that in just a couple of minutes, at about 20 to 11, we will be opening our lines to you, Mpolapuli TruFM, for you to come through, ask any questions related to a career potentially in media studies, journalism, radio, whatever it might be that you are interested in. We are going to open those lines for you. You can start sending through your questions. My producer is standing by to take your calls as well on 086 000 2375. We're also available on our WhatsApp line sitting on 072 999 8092. We're going to take a short break. We quickly going to pay some bills. As soon as I come back, I'm going to treat you to a 4 feel-good song back-to-back special where I say you can take this time to relax, think about your questions and unwind, and let me take care of you through some absolutely gorgeous music. It's coming up right after this. Now, I must say, I've got a sneaky feeling that the time that we have for this segment is going to be very small for what we need to do. However, Sabrina Claudia in the background, lending us in the last 30 minutes of the show at exactly 12 minutes after 11. The song is titled Stand Still, by the way, and I am joined by the legendary Black Mati in studio. A lot of you know her and love her from our sister station, Umhlobo Wenene, between 9 and 12. It's also safe to say she's one of the people, someone who has paved the way for a lot of us in the radio field as well. We're going to be chatting to her. If you do have any questions to send through, feel free to drop us a WhatsApp on 072 999 8092, 086 000 2375. Gogo is standing by to take your calls. Let's take a quick ad break. As soon as we come back, we chat to Black Mati. In the studio, we are joined by our former True Experience radio host. She is now at Umhlobo Wenene and has completed quite a number of media-related studies. Now, you must remember today is AU Radio Workshop, which means we are letting you in on everything that you need and know, as well as understand when it comes to radio as a career. Now, Black Mati, for those of you who might not know, she holds a BTech graduate in PR. She also has postgraduate diploma in media management and has studied versatile broadcast at WUSU. And we welcome Black Mati this morning on a True Experience. How does it feel to be back?
Enkosi kakhulu ngoku ume phandle usethi former presenter
Sure.
so I'm like, oh Kanene.
Yeah.
Feels like such a while back, but it's really not. Thank you so much for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure, and I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward towards this chat, because I think there's always that battle. As much as you are someone who were here, but there's always that battle about, today am I listening to Black? What I've understood about a lot of our listeners is that it's one day with Black, one day with Umabalwa, but they remain very, very committed to the brand Black Mati, because it's someone who was occupying this space. But because we don't have a lot of time, Black, I'm going to try and get through as many questions as possible. I want you maybe just to give us a bit of background as to how your radio career started off, and while you were studying after, what are some of the things that you can touch on to help Mpolapuli as well, who might be interested in joining this field?
I went, so after EIT, a year of studying IT, I decided that it was not for me.
Okay.
And then Ndava came, gave us a broadcasting. It was Bora Technicon then.
Okay.
So I went, and Kwataba, yes, there is a course on radio, and then I enrolled, and then basically that's how everything started.
Okay.
I really didn't understand. I knew that I wanted to be in the media space, even though I wasn't yet sure.
Sure.
But then it's when they started getting us involved with campus radio, the practicality of what they were teaching us in the classroom, that I really began to fall in love with the medium.
Okay.
And because ngoku ndiyayibona ukuba what this thing could be.
Okay.
So I studied versatile broadcasting, and then from there I never looked back.
I love it. So how long has it been since you've been doing this now?
Oh my gosh, I'm sure said no 20 years. I'm sure said no 20 years. I started but then to to practice it, like to a point where like I'm getting paid, and it was in 2005.
Okay,
But I had
alright.
started even before.
A crucial aspect about today as we celebrate World Radio Day is how it's important to also support radio as a career with a qualification behind it. And I just want to find out on your end, how would you say studying sort of helped and shaped your radio career and also your hosting skills?
Yeah, i-course ebebesenzisa yona, it was designed to give his students like a comprehensive skill set.
Okay.
From radio presenting to radio production to understanding sound, and there were other elements that they added to it as well, so that you can be like a proper live host. Izinto ezinjenge quick thinking, you know, so that ufikile on air, you know exactly what to do. So I'm very blessed that I was equipped with ESO skills. You know, I understand sound, I understand the technicalities, I understand the thinking behind and the creating of the content. So it makes you into who's well-rounded,
Sure.
and you're able to handle yourself no matter what the situation. So that's one of the things that I feel they empowered me by studying the medium.
All right. Before we take on our caller, I do want to get into something that seems to be very controversial for us as people that are in the radio field. What do you think are some of the biggest misconceptions that people have about a career in radio?
That is easy, that anyone can do it. That umntu bona wena uhleli kwesitulo sounding so good on air, and they think that, oh, I can do better than ubabalwa. But they don't know what it takes, the work that it takes, the preparation that it takes, the discipline that it takes. Yek indaba ye talent is very important,
Yeah.
but yek indaba ye talent. Because in my years in the industry, I've seen people who are very talented,
Yeah.
but they didn't have the discipline to hold
Sure.
on to it. So umntu, because mhlawumbe uziva okanye ithe iitshomi yakhe, you sound good, they think that, oh, I can do it. But then abayibali the discipline that comes with it, and the amount of time that you have to dedicate into learning izinto ezintsha and to keeping abreast with what's happening just around the world. So abantu bayicinga fanuba yinto that anyone can do, and yet it's not. Khona ke umntu oseradioing, and then ukhona nomsasazi.
Yeah. Broadcaster, nomsasazi.